Spring break 2016. Three friends and I were a little too late to book a worthwhile spring break trip like in Cancun or Miami or something like that. So we did what we thought was the next best thing. We Airbnb'd a beach house in Georgia for a good price last minute. The landlord left the key hidden in a plant on the front stoop. As soon as I unlocked the door and we stepped into the home, we could all agree there was a funky smell in the house. It wasn't necessarily a bad smell. It was just weird. The house was big though. It had a big first floor and huge second floor with 4 bedrooms. We all had claim to our own room. We got there early in the day, so the sun was still out and strong. The 3 others, who I guess I'll introduce now, Todd, Nate, and Michael, were outside hanging on the beach. I went inside to look for a volleyball because the landlord said there were a bunch of sports equipment in one of the upstairs closets. There was only one closet upstairs though, so I checked it, and inside of it were things like badminton rackets, baseball gloves, frisbees, and a volleyball, exactly where the woman had described. When I shut the closet door, however, I realized the door to my bedroom was open. I had 100% closed it not even 15 minutes before. I went outside to ask my friends which of them went in my room. I didn't make a big deal about it, but I had to ask because I found that to be a little annoying. They all claimed they didn't go in my room, so I moved past it. I wasn't going to let it bother me too much. When the sun went down, we all got dressed to go to nearby clubs, which were supposed to be crowded due to spring break. I split off a bunch of times to get drinks from the bartender that I found cute, thinking somehow I'd have a chance with her. Of course, I was just acting like a drunk idiot. I guess I'd been mixing my drinks a little too much because at some point I started feeling really sick. The house was walking distance from the club I was in, so I decided I'd walk to the house and see the rest of them tomorrow. When I got back to the front door, I put the key in the mailbox as I told my friends I'd do if I left early. I made sure to lock the door behind me, and if any of my friends would come back, I'd assume they'd remember what I said. I went straight to the bathroom upstairs, where I sat by the toilet waiting to puke. My head was spinning, but I just couldn't sum up the urge to finally puke. As I was sitting on the bathroom floor, I heard something outside, like something being dropped on the floor in one of the nearby bedrooms. I stood up and peeked outside. I stepped into the center hallway and noticed that the door to the room that Todd had claimed was cracked open. There was a small nightlight on in there. As I walked closer to the door, I noticed someone sitting on the bed. They were just sitting on the edge of the bed facing a wall. Was it Todd? I honestly couldn't tell at that point. I was only peeking through a tiny crack in the door. It really didn't look like Todd though. And how would he have gotten in before me without the key? In a split second, my heart started racing twice as fast as I was looking at someone who I started to believe wasn't Todd. I started backing away slowly, and of course, there was the slightest crack in the wood floor. The person sitting on the bed clicked their head to the left to face the door, and even through that tiny crack, I felt as if he was looking at me. It wasn't Todd. It was some random man who looked to be about 40. I ran to the bathroom and locked the door, not trying to be quiet anymore. I tried calling my friend Todd, and as it was ringing, I saw the doorknob to the bathroom door pressed down slightly. The man on the other end was trying to open the door, but of course I locked it. I heard footsteps walking away until they faded away completely. Todd didn't pick up the phone, so I called the landlord. She didn't pick up either, so I finally called 911. I asked them to send a police officer because there was someone who wasn't supposed to be in the house. A police car came to the house within a few minutes, and I ran to the front door to answer it, asking the officer to look around the house with me. It wasn't a huge house overall. The first floor was a quick search, under the couches, in the closets, in the cabinets. Then we went upstairs, checking all the bedrooms, under the beds, and those closets. It seemed clear. He made me fill out some report form, and he was on his way. I still locked myself in the bathroom until my friends rang the bell. With all of them back, I finally felt safe, and when I told them what happened, they were all in shock. The next day, I called the landlord and told her, and she sounded very distraught after I described the man. She sounded confident that her crazy ex-boyfriend had somehow broken into the house and was expecting to find her there. It turned out the room Todd had claimed used to be the bedroom she and her ex would share. She offered to refund me and let us go home if we didn't feel safe. Surprisingly, we agreed to stay the full week though, and actually nothing happened for the rest of the week. I feel like maybe the man figured that she had moved out, but I do wonder how things would have played out if she was home.